thing that you need right there. Yeah, you're better like that. No, not like that, the other way. Oh, I didn't even. The builder and the hawk. 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 We are getting ready for 9 a.m. The builder and the hawk. Yes, I have my guest in the green room. Did I give him an assignment? Yes, I believe I gave him an assignment. Let me look. Yes, he's already signed in. And he's smiling from ear to ear. I think last week I told him that he's going to run the topic, that he could bring up the topics for we could talk about things, what he has in. I seen, because I monitor his page all the time, and I seen that he was putting out requests for more students to come and sign in for his school, and he was bragging about the classroom size. The classroom size is small, and they could come in and they could get that special attention. They're not lost by numbers, but they'll get all they need. He started smiling. He don't know that I'll be watching and listening. He don't know. I support all the time. All right, let me bring him up on screen right now. And there he go. There he goes. There he goes. Here, we early. It's not time yet. But we early. Let me check all the screens because I have to move around and make sure, yes, all the screens are working properly. Because he just don't know. I don't have an engineer, so I have to do this myself. Plus, I got to go through all the feeds and make sure that I'm up running properly. And I'm not like you. My sons are grown, but they're not by my side. They're all doing their own thing.
Okay.
You know, one is trying to get to the Olympics. He just missed it the last time around. So I can't be mad at him. Oh, there you go. I can't be mad at him, Sam. Plus, Sam's a giver and a protector by nature. He is a protector, and he's working in colleges, and he's passing on his knowledge of the sport. He didn't get there. I told him, go ahead and hurry up and have a son, because I never was an All-American world-class athlete. I played ball, but he took a couple steps forward than where I was at. And now his son can take a couple more steps forward, but I'm telling him the road ahead of me is short. I want to see it. So add 20 more years onto my life. If he have a baby now, I'm not going to be here. It's impossible. I already set a limit where I'd be happy for God to stop this. Maybe I'll start the program off on that note right there.
I thought it was my turn. I
Yeah,
thought it was
it's
my
your
turn.
turn. Okay, I'll.
You be like you. Like, yo, man, it's yours. You gotta have this. You gotta have this one, man. Don't worry. And then you just
No,
twist
no,
yourself.
no, no. It's your turn. I'm gonna let
Twist
you
it.
take it. Matter of fact, I ain't gonna let you start with the prayer and take us all the way. But you know what? I got 5 minutes before the program starts, and I have everybody here watching coming in. So I'll say it. 80. I sat down and I thought about it. I really thought about it. And 80 was my target, I think. But I moved up to 85 only because we got longevity in our bloodline. But if you all don't know, the builder there, he is my cousin, blood cousin. And longevity runs in our family. But there's two measurements on where I want to stop this at. 85, even if I'm in good health and everything's good, I'm good. Because I see my father. My father died of loneliness. Not that he was sick, not that he was ill, he was lonely. My mother passed, all his friends have passed, everybody passed, and he just staying alive for my baby sister. Because he kept on saying, oh, Daddy, don't die, I need you. And when I told my father, don't worry, she'd be okay, you could just rest. And I told my sister she was selfish and she didn't speak to me for 3 months. Would not speak to me. She was hot. But I had to explain to her. He lives his life. Let him go and be at rest. Everybody's gone. He's just here because you're his heart. You're his baby. And he's trying to be, my father. You know my father. So I just told him, I was always tasked with doing the stuff that none of the other siblings wanted to do. I'm the one that took my father's keys from him and don't let him drive no more. And boy, he was mad. I'm your father, you're my son. How can you tell me what to do? I said, Dad, nobody else got it. They scared. They looking at me to tell you, but your reflex are slow. You're slow, you're older. Yeah, you could drive, but it's something coming up. Your reaction time is slower. I need to take your keys, and I gave it to Junior. Oh, and he was hot. He was hot.
I
Even
remember.
even now, I'm 70 plus. My reaction time is slower. I stop driving. I ride a bike. I ride a bike, and I say, if they hit me, hopefully they do a good job. I don't need them maim me. I need them to do a complete job. But that's another. That's a subject for another day. He's aching. He's ready to go. We're 2 minutes out, so I'm going to talk up my 2 minutes. So another thing I want to say, today is Selfish Prayer Thursday, and I told you I spoke to everybody. I got 60 seconds. I told everybody to write down your prayer ahead of time. Write down specifically how you want it, how you want it to affect your life, and how you want it to affect your life in the future when you pray to God. I've been praying to God to put TikTok in my computer. TikTok's in my computer. But what I meant to say is to put TikTok in my Ecamm account that I could run all of it as one. I ran TikTok and Ecamm in my computer this morning, and when it came in, it took the volume, the audio out. So TikTok just seen me and they couldn't hear nothing. I tried to do it, but that's only a mathematical equation. But good morning, good morning, good morning. With prayer, with prayer, with prayer, all things are possible. With prayer, you can shape your destiny. With prayer, there's no need to walk in fear in these streets because why? Because God will answer our prayer. Today, right now, is the builder in the heart. and I'm turning the program over to the builder, and I'm gonna right now, builder, it's yours.
You just got me laughing. You got me laughing. Let's see how long this lasts. Let's see how long this lasts. I really want to see how long this lasts. Cause I'm gonna say something, then he's gonna go like, oh, I can't stop. Gotta say something. And then he gotta go. He gotta go another 15 minutes in it. So let's see. Anyway, I really I want to just expand on what you just said about prayer. Um, this morning I sent something out to my crew. I have a group of four young men that I'm mentoring, and and I send them out things that we're on this text message group, and I send them out stuff so that we can just give them nuggets of information, send them like clips of my goal for them is to first um, be the example to them, to show them how prayer and the manifestation of prayer works, and and showing them that if you pray the right prayer, it will happen for you. And then you have to be patient. When you're patient, you're able to understand that it's not your time, it's God's time whenever you get the answer to your prayer. And then you have to be aware of the outcome, because most people pray and pray and pray and say, well, God never gave me this and God, but he actually did. Or he gave you a resource and said to you, basically, if you continue to pray, said to you that you need to use that resource to get what you want. So there's a lot of dynamics that go in to receiving your blessing. And I think that's what you talk about, Vic, is receiving your blessing and making sure that that happens, and being able to recognize it. So, I mean, what I'm talking about is when I try to explain to them is like, um, you know, I will talk something out to them, and that conversation was based off of a prayer that night, or something that I wanted that night, or something that I asked God for, or something that God was telling me that I needed to get done. And then I would just talk it out with them and say, hey, this is our goal. This is what we're trying to do. This is what was downloaded to me to execute. Okay. And then I would tell them and talk to them and talk to them and talk to them and talk to them. So, Vic was talking about the school. When we started the school in 2021, and I said I'm gonna have 90 kids in the school. I want 90 kids in the school. I want the school to be K-8. Um, as you can see, Polaris Village Academy, and I want to make sure that the kids are served in this capacity, so on and so forth. I want the top quality staff. I want top quality teachers when it comes down to getting the information to the kids, and I want to be able to um, run up and down the hall and yell Jesus. Okay. Um, in public schools, you can't do that. You mention Jesus, you might get fired as a teacher. And my goal was to allow the kids to pray and talk about God, So every morning, that's what we do. We do a we do it. We have like a mini service in a sense, a half an hour from 8:30 to 9, and um, and we talk about the Bible, and I think last time we went through all of Proverbs um, through the school year. So that is the key. You try to go ahead and you try to get this and talk it out and manifest it. So fast forward to our 2026-2027 school year, um, we have 88 kids. Now again, back in 2021 when we first started, my goal was 90. 2026, 2027, we've already registered 88 kids. We have a building. Um, we have uh, major donors. We have dedicated parents. We have kids that are on the verge of just exploding. Um, their intellectual prowess is just amazing. So, and it's our job to stimulate them. Um, I don't know if folks that didn't hear us before talk about the things that I do in the school. I'm the chief financial officer. I'm the chairman of the board of Polaris Village Ministries, which is the core, um, the parent group of Polaris Village Academy. And also, I teach financial freedom to fourth and fifth graders, and now it'd be fourth through eighth grade. Uh, Kids are going to be in our financial freedom class. So, as we all know, most um, schools now do not teach anything about finance. It used to be like in home ec, they'll teach you about banking or this and that. They would teach you how to cook. Now they don't even do that. So it's all these things is all these things that were in the past that Vic and I know that we had, which made us better people. Um, I'm trying to reintroduce into the educational system, at least in our private school. Vic, you have any questions? I'm gonna let you say something.
Okay. No, but he's right. I went to, well, see what happened, Derek. We went to schools outside our neighborhood. Schools are formed and developed unequal in all our communities. And I think that was part of your desire of you starting your school, and you're bringing back what was that you've seen. Because I went to school and I went to Sharon High and Sharon Mass. And I want just take this time out. Andrea Allman, I'm praying for you. There's a young lady, one of my schoolmates, she's in the hospital right now, and I got prayers going up for her. But in our school, when we went to school, they made sure if you wasn't going to college, that you will survive. They gave you, and I think what he's talking about, survival skills. If you was not going to go to college, they taught you how to be a carpenter, an auto mechanic. We had classes that taught us how to do banking, how to make our money work for us, and how to survive. Now, I went to an all-white school all my life, but I remember coming back from out in the suburbs, and when I'm hanging with my friends playing basketball, and when we start talking about things, I just had to look at both of them and say, "You didn't know that? You didn't know this? You there?" Oh. And the educational is the, I can't put it into words, but I'm glad that you are doing that now. This thing about running up the hallway, want to yell thank you to the creator, I love you. That's a bold step because now you put it out in the air, you're going to get pushback. And here's the funny part, you're going to get pushback from people that don't even go to your school, who don't have children in your school, but they don't like progress. Knowledge is everything. It is. You know, I remember Cat Williams say this. I like to say things from famous people. Reading is fundamental. And he broke the word down. Reading is fun to your mental, to your development. And education is that. And proper education. This morning, I was praying a selfish prayer. And my selfish prayer this morning was, God, protect our children. Help us develop our children for they could grow up to be adults. I have to point the right way. And there he is. And that's what he's doing. He is protecting our children. And I'm proud of you. But go on. I don't want to take over your segment.
No, no. That's it's so true. We have to society rap music. I'm not against rap music. Okay, but this is where the conspiracy theory goes on with the music culture and and um who runs the music industry. Okay, so you have a certain group of people that run the music industry. Okay, you got rappers. Okay, that are cussing, talking about women's vaginas, you know, saying nigga, you know, all the time. And then we expect um, our kids to not go out and be like, well, nigga, and always talking in that fashion. So then the culture is developed that way. But then you don't hear um, people talking about slang words, rapping about slang words of Jewish people. You don't have people rapping about slang words about anybody else except for us. And culturally, we would say, "Oh, that's a part of our culture. That's what." No, it's not a part of our culture. That's the culture that they imposed on us. There were some things like even with and again, I'm going down your lane, Vic. Even down the lane of entertainment. You know, Dave Chappelle was talking about how he refused to put on a dress. He's like, they kept wanting me to put on a dress. He's like, why do you want me to put on a dress? So I'm not put on a dress. You know, but if you look at all the black male actors, they all have put on a dress. Kevin Hart, Damon Wayans, all them dudes, all of them have all dressed up. You know, White Chicks. Remember that movie, White Chicks?
Mm-hmm.
You know, they had them fully dressed up, acting like women. So when then we wonder why that our men feel okay with being a certain way. You know, they because again, they see it in society. You know, Tyler Perry, he made his career off of being a woman.
Let me jump in
You
here real
know,
quick.
and it's like it's I know,
Let me
right?
jump in here real quick.
So he
That's right. Let me how long we 24 minutes, 25 minutes. Okay. So listen, I'm gonna jump in on that note. Also, David Chappelle, he talks about when he was doing his skits, and I'm going to just jump on the word nigger. He did a skit where he said the word faggot, and they called him in and told him he can't use that word. And they explained why. And he said the lady was a white woman. He said he had a good relationship with her. And she broke it down and all the reasons why he can't say it. And he said he 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 was leaving and he stopped. And he asked her, why is it I can say nigger on my skits all day and you don't complain about that? But if I say the word faggot, you all threatening to take my job. And the lady said to him, because you're not gay. And he looked at her and turned around and said, I'm not a nigger either. And my point is that society want control over us and want to shape us in not the form like them, but in a form of control. You know, Derek, I'm sorry to steal your segment right now, but I'm going to say something. This, I'm not even going to say it. I'm not going to say it, but I really want to say it. You all just have no idea. This is TikTok right now. They hitting me up with all restrictions because I said nigga and white people. See what's coming up? This is control. TikTok's not free. Society's not free. I'm sovereign. I am a sovereign person. I do not submit to any of that. So I'm going to turn my TikTok off right now. All right, I just turned TikTok off right now because I'm tired of them. But maybe I should just talk about that. Sovereignty. What is the definition of being sovereign? We need to be sovereign. The builder, I'm going to give it right back to you in 5 minutes. The builder is showing sovereignty. He built a community within a community. He forged his own lifestyles. He said, forget the restrictions, but he's working within the system because he's the builder. The hawk, like me, I just go anywhere, anyway, but he's showing us you could work within the 4 lines of the square, and I show you I'm sovereign. But he is sovereign also, but he's doing it through another approach. Sovereignty is something that we all need to understand and grab back. We need to be sovereign and we need to be able to think for ourselves and get out from being, what's the word I'm looking for? Bounty. Bounty is the word because that's what they call us and that's how they insure us. You know, every American citizen is not sovereign. You owned by the corporation called the United States. If you got a you have a social security card, you have a driver's license, you are property of the United States. So that word nigger, it belongs to white, black, yellow, brown, all of us, because we are property. You are not your own person. But go on, D, because you're going to get me going off somewhere else, saying a whole lot of stuff. Because you know how I am.
Well, what you're saying is 100% correct. I don't know how many times I say that about things you say, but what you're saying on this subject is 100% correct.
But the people
Because
don't know it. I'm not
um,
cut you off, but
I
the people don't know
yeah,
it.
people, people are very ignorant to what freedom
Is
is all about. Okay, they're very ignorant to what freedom is, and freedom. If I go outside right now, let's say I go outside right now, and I pull my penis out and piss on the street. Okay, I'm breaking a law, and I can be arrested. Indecent exposure, unsanitary, blah blah blah. There's a code, there's a rule or a regulation that the police officer could come, lock me up, put me in jail, incarcerate me. Okay,
not
if
even
I
that.
go and I
Not
no,
even
no,
that. You
let me finish. Let me finish.
all right, go ahead.
If I go and I'm hungry, okay, if I'm hungry right now and I feel like I need to go out and kill me something, kill me a deer or fish or whatever, a resource police can come and lock me up, put me in jail for killing a deer, cutting it up, getting the meat, and cooking it. I'm not free. I need a license. Okay? If I go fishing, let me finish. If I go fishing, I need a license. If I jump in my car and drive to the pond or to the lake or to the river or to the ocean
You need a
without
permit.
a driver's license issued by the United States government, they can lock me up, fine me, create some type of punishment. And I think that's where it's to punish you. Okay? To do what? Why are they punish? Why is the United States government or any government? Why do they punish you? Because they want to control you and keep you in line. So I want you. They guys it under safety. Okay, but if I can't work without what? A social security number. So I have to have a social. And when do you get your social security number? You get your social security number, okay, when you are born. So you are born into the system. Okay, you're tagged. We talked about the mark of the beast and all that kind of stuff. It's already that's your number. Think about it. That's your number. You're already numbered. You're already labeled. Okay? And so first thing you do, um you go to the doctor, you gotta have insurance, you gotta do I mean you there's so many restrictions. Okay, again, restrictions. And the restrictions are there for control. What I talk big about all the time is there is no getting around that. Unless you want to, you can't even go. I mean, I got like acres and acres of land. I can't even go live in the woods. Some of my land is wetlands. Okay, I can't go and cut trees down and build a house inside of my land because it's deemed wetlands, and I will be fined, punished, and maybe jailed for building shelter inside of what the government deems as wetlands. But then again, it's not my land. Because if I don't pay the tax that is given to me, okay, not given to me, imposed on me every year, they will strip me of the ownership of that land. Okay? So therefore, you do not, give me 1 second. You do not own anything. Okay?
Nothing.
So since you don't own anything, the only, and this is where I try to get to people and understand why we have one last bastion of hope, and that is the church. Because through the church, okay, no one owns the church. Okay, no one owns the church. The church doesn't pay tax. Okay, the church doesn't pay property taxes on this facility. Okay, so therefore, no one can take the church. The government cannot come in and take the church away from us. Let me just say that one more time. No one can go, no government agency can go in and take the church away from us because it's not, there's no tax, there's no penalty, there's no nothing that I have to pay
The sovereign.
the government.
The
Yeah, and
sovereign.
that's where I wanted to take that bow and wrap it up and tie it up real good. And that I want to get back to where you said. So the only sovereign entity, okay, true sovereign entity,
Think.
is
Listen.
the church right now.
Woo.
Okay,
You in my warehouse. You in my
and
warehouse.
and right, and that's why I can run up and down the hallways of the school that's not paying any government taxes. Okay,
And not
up
receiving
and
no
down the
money.
school and yell Jesus. Now, the cost of me doing that is from the government standpoint, the way the government tries to punish me for my status, status that they gave me. Okay? The way the government is that they say, and they made this rule, they say that we cannot show any bias to your religion, Christianity. And the United States is supposed to be a Christian nation. Okay? United States is supposed to be a Christian nation. But the United States does not give, the Treasury does not give any funds, okay, appropriated funds to church organizations directly. The United States government cannot donate to a church. It can partner with a church to put on a particular program, and that's outside of the church realm, okay? But it cannot give money directly to the church. The church would have to create a different I'm going to get in the weeds. The church would create a different nonprofit and blah 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 blah. So it's like the way to punish the church for its sovereignty is that, guess what? You got to do it on your own. And let me just finish this one last point, Vic. So when Vic talked about me creating a village, okay, that's me and the church organization doing it on our own. I receive no government funds. Okay, let me say this again. I receive no government funds to put on the church. I have received no government funds. Other than I personally do not, the church personally does not receive government funds from the church. Individuals may receive government funds to them, and then they can give that money to the church. Okay, for example, there's a program that that students can apply for, get the money, and then give it to us like a voucher to go to our school. Okay, but the government does not give that money directly to the school. It goes to the parent and to us. Okay, so it's like when you have this situation, how does the church survive? And this is why church is so important. I'm trying to explain to people, you need to go back to church. You stop this online nonsense, okay? You need to go back to church, because what this does, what the church does, it creates that entity of family. It creates that entity of pooling. That's what church, proper church. Now I'm not talking about your stupid prep pastors out there that do stupid dumb stuff. I'm talking about churches allow you to pool your money to help people, the people in the community, people in the church. It allows you to pool your money, and it gives you that tax deduction. Okay? So the pooling of the money is the resource that allows me to go and buy another building, to go put and house another program. Okay? Done by its members. Okay? So that's what it's all about. So when a church is run properly, it has its own sovereignty. And I'm going to let you go ahead. So that was my thing.
Okay. I got to write down a whole lot of notes because I'm old. I can't remember. There's a lot of things I want to hit. All right. So I don't know if I should go from the back to forward or what. Sovereignty. All right. Christianity. First of all, I tell people, language is the key to everything. If you know how to form words, you can open up any and every single door. It's just knowing how to put the right words in the right place. So Christianity, you leave that out. You drop that out and say, I believe in the creator of all things. Period. I'm not Christian. I believe in God. Period. Me, personally, I don't care about religion or who you claim to be. I don't care if you're Jewish. I don't care if you're Buddha. I don't care if you're Muslim. I don't care what it is, because there's only one God. There's many different cultures. There's many different languages. In whatever culture and language God presents himself to you, when you're praying, there's only one God. Because Christianity is only 2,000 or 3,000 years old. God in this world been here billions of years. This planet is 7 billion years old. And there's people, see, that's the problem I had even in my church. They teach and they put rules and regulations in about what we need to do. And I tell them, what happened to the people that before this time, before your teaching, before your concept of Christianity? Are they lost and I'm privileged? I don't believe that. So all of that stuff, I just throw right out the window. I believe in the creator of all things. That's one thing. The water, what he was saying about sovereignty and water, how he had to pay taxes. There's a white man in the Midwest. They was on my feed. Listen what this man, because of the drought, he have a barn and a house. He funneled all the rainwater that fall on his house and on his barn in a big container, and then he watered his grass and his farm. The local government came and they wanted to put him in jail. They arrested him, charged him, and when he went to the court, at least the judge had some common sense. He said, the law is the law, and that's the law, but I'm not going to put you in jail. But you got to come up with some compromise with the county, because the county said they charged him not for using rainwater. They charge him for stealing economics from their system of making money and charging people for water. They try to say that rainwater do not belong to him, it belongs to the county. That's how they take your
That's crazy.
sovereignty away from you. You have no rights whatsoever. I'm marking off all the things we were talking about. Birth certificate. No, we wasn't talking about, he talking about Social Security card, but I wrote down birth certificate because what people, white, black, yellow people, don't realize, once you get a birth certificate, you register and you give up your sovereignty to the states, America. You become property. Once you get a birth certificate, from your birth, you become property, and the government put out a insurance bond. They figure out in your lifetime you are worth $5 million. That's how much they say that you will make in your lifetime. They take out a life insurance policy on you, and they collect that money when you dead. That's part of why the system is what it is, but that's for another conversation, another day. Come on Mondays on Think, you will get that. On the issue of the church and the land, it's twofold. In America, nobody owns any land in America. You might own the right to live on top of the land and to pay taxes on property that you do not own. The royal family in England own every part of America. They own all the land. Our American history and the revolution that they told us is all a lie. Our land is owned by the royal family. Our tax money cycled through the Catholic Church and come back. It's the Catholic Church that give America its budget of money. But you won't know that. You have to do your research. What we believe to be true is not true. And I'm going to let Derek go on because I'm just going to just say this. Reality. Do you all know what the definition of reality is? Definition of reality is the majority. The majority makes your reality. If I have 100 people say yellow is black, and one person say yellow is yellow is back because it's the consensus of the majority. Everybody might live their own reality, but social reality make the norms. Therefore, I'll be out your way. I used to say 20 years. 40 years, you can make a lie to be the truth. Our understanding of reality is a lie because it only takes 40 years. Because the children of Israel wandered in the desert for 40 years. And what the Bible said, that all who had sinned when they came through the water died. That reality of 40-year block. Oh, you're going to get me going into some heavy stuff, but I don't want to go in because it's his segment right now. Becomes the truth. So I know the time. So you have to think. I'm going to be quiet. Go ahead, Derek. You get me going. You put me in my warehouse. And I love it. But go ahead.
I set you up.
Yeah, you set me up. But I want you all to really think.
uh,
I need you all to think. And I want you all to go to his webpage, Derek Daly, because he's sovereign or he's practicing sovereign tendencies. Also, getting back to one more thing I didn't write down I want to talk about. His church. And he's talking about the church. You notice when I always give his introduction, I talk about him. And I said that he built a church, but technically it is a village meeting house. It's where the community could come meet, talk, shape their destiny. He used different words to explain that. What he just said, the church where they could come and pool their resources and to develop the community. It's a meeting place for the community to come. And that, what he's doing with his church, is what all churches need to do. Make sure that all its members are sovereign. Go ahead, D. I'm sorry.
no, you're absolutely right because well, let me rewind. Some of your stuff that
All my stuff is right. You just have to look. You are a capitalist, and you feel to
but
realize
but but
you feel
but
to realize
let
that there's
no
more.
let me finish. Let me finish. But there is a underlying secret society that actually runs everything. Okay,
There is.
you're it's not a conspiracy. I can tell you, I've been a corporate controller and an accountant for a long time, and I know where money comes from and how money is handled and how money develops itself. And it's when you get to a certain point, you then are aware and you get to see the underlying effects. It's like so the goal of this group is to just keep everybody as a consumer. Um, and and if you're a consumer, that means you're just gonna go work, go home, consume, buy. And even now in the world of AI, I'm gonna market to you. That's Meta. That's all these other things. I'm gonna market to you so that you continue to be a consumer. And that's how, if you notice, that's how Google, that's how Meta, that's how Temu, that's how all the Amazon, that's how they just market stuff to you to keep you buying. I mean, you see, and that's what they want. They want you brain dead on just buying stuff. So yes, there is that society that wants to do while they're doing their thing in their yacht. I mean, their yacht gets bigger and bigger and bigger. Their house gets bigger and bigger. They have more houses and da 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 da. That's the concentration of wealth, but that's a whole different topic. So what we're talking about here again is the education, the true education of the people inside the community so that we can vanquish the generational curse of self-hatred amongst black people.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? And I'm specifically talking about black Americans because they were taught to hate themselves. They were taught
Generation.
that they the education system, as Vic pointed out, the education system, you ask a kid, they're like, well, where did you come from? Well, we came from slavery. You know, we were brought here on the thing. They've crafted the Black American experience
And
Okay,
that's a lie.
that they have black Americans believing that their culture, their history started at slavery, you know, and makes them mad at everybody else, all other blacks that are out there, us black Caribbeans, us black Africans. They make them feel, okay, that we are different because we have this cultural history that they don't have. And it was crafted that way by the colonizers and by the enslaved slave masters to have them say, this is your history. Your history was this. 17 something or whatever. Whenever we decided to enslave you, that's your history. Whenever we decide to quote unquote free you, that's your history. But you never free. You never free. You know? And so this is the difference between us Caribbeans and they never let them shine. They never let black Americans shine. They never let them shine. Do you know in the culture, the inventors, the this, the that, only ones they let shine are what? The entertainers. That's the only group because they know that the entertainers can set the culture and they let them entertain based off of their
Okay.
audience. You, again, let me just finish. You can say nigga, nigga, nigga all you want. Say nigga, nigga, nigga all you want. And you can make millions off of saying that over and over again. You can make all the black movies you want. As long as all of the black people speak funny, as long as all the black people uh, 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 act up and gonna steal and have a gun and
And
shoot
kill this.
somebody and deal drugs and all that. They as long as that we give you roll after roll after roll, and all I need is a few of y'all. All I need is a few of y'all, and I will make you richer than rich than rich.
Mm-hmm.
But I need you to do this. I need you to put on a dress. I need you to go say nigga, nigga, nigga. I need you to go and be that character. I need you to do that. Okay? Only now, we talk about that movie The Odyssey. You see that you ever had that movie The Odyssey? They're going crazy because Helena Troy was a black woman. They made Helena Troy a black woman. And they said, that's not true. That's not true. There is no way, there's no way that Helena Troy was a black woman. And this goes to what you're saying, Big. If you tell a lie over and over and over and over again, people start to believe it. Because the history is written by the victor. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Now, Helena Troy is a fictional character. There is no black or white. There's no, it should be black or she said. Helena Troy is a fictional character. But they believe that the fictional character is white. I mean, this is amazing. A fictional character can be anything. Helena Troy could be a freaking dog. Okay? Because she is a fictional character. But people going crazy because Helena Troy was black in this movie.
Yeah.
And so that just tells you how society has been trained over and over and over again. You know, like Charlie Kirk said, I would not get on a plane that if I saw it was a black pilot, I would not get on the plane. He said it. He said I would get on a plane if I saw it was a black pilot because I know he can't fly a plane. But Vic, you and I know when we go to the Caribbean,
They're all black
when we go to
pilots.
Cape Verde, I look in there and I see all black pilots.
Yes.
You
Yeah.
understand what I'm saying?
But that's, you know what? That's
And
good for
you're
him.
over here, Vic. Let me ask you a question. Let me
Hmm.
ask you a question. How many times you've heard a pilot, a black pilot, okay, get in a crash? How many crashes has there been in the Caribbean? How many crash? I don't. I've never seen. I've never heard of. Now there's been pilots going back and forth, but they've all been white pilots. If you go and look at all the crashes that have been in the Caribbean, they've all been white pilots. I want someone to go. One of your people out there, go do the research on that.
You know,
Okay,
I already,
and AI, ask ChatGPT how many black pilots have gone down, and I'll bet you take the ratio of that, okay, and you even do the demographics of it, and you can break it down to the amount of black pilots versus the amount of da 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 da, and throw a percentage to it. I bet you that percentage
listen,
is
bro,
much higher of a white pilot being in a crash.
and I'll add
Go
to
ahead.
it. I'll add to it. That guy must have never watched Red Tails. It's a story about World War II, about when they allowed black pilots to go up and to fly. It was the black pilots that kept the white pilots alive. It was the white pilots didn't care for each other. That's number one. I've been writing stuff down as you talk because I didn't want to interrupt you. So also, he talked about slavery and sovereignty. What we don't know, because our history won't teach us, that black Americans are sovereign. Right now, every single black American is sovereign. And the reason why they don't know they're sovereign, because our history was stolen from us. That 40 years made a lie into the truth and into our reality. But what black people don't realize is that we are sovereign. Black Americans, I'm talking about black Americans. We all are sovereign. We all are Moors. When the white people came to this country, we was already here, sovereign. And they enslaved us. And we the ones that worked here. The slave ships that came from Africa, they threw 90% of all their cargo into the ocean and feed the sharks. Then they brought off all the people that made it all the way here, went into Colombia and into the Caribbean. The slips never made it up to America. What they brought when they made it to America, which this is what they're not telling you, when they stopped in the Caribbean, they picked up rum from the Caribbean after they dropped off the slaves and they took it up to New England and New York. And they traded that rum for the cotton. And the cotton they took over to Europe. And then from Europe they went down to Africa, picked up some more slaves, threw them in the water because they insured them as bounty and got paid, and the other 10% went back into Brazil and Colombia. The largest black population outside of Africa is in Colombia. Not in America, in the Caribbean. The ones that was in America came over from that black emperor. I should know his name. He was the richest man in the world today. Nobody had more wealth than him. And he came over here. That's why the American Indians was from the East Coast to the Mississippi. Those are the American Indians. Anything that was west of the Mississippi are Mexicans. Mexico went from Mexico all the way up to Canada. You all need to go to school and do your history and look at your history to understand. The American Indians that you see now that they put up on there, look at them. They look just like their Mexican brothers and sisters. I'm just being truthful. The black Indian population, they killed them and enslaved them. Listen to Bob Marley's song, Buffalo Soldier. Listen to the words. He said, Buffalo Soldier was brought to the Caribbean from America. And what he was saying, the black people all through the Caribbean, they was already here. They wasn't enslaved from Africa. They came from America. And let me see, I got something about TV down here. You said something about TV, but I forgot. I need to write more than what? Because I'm writing notes on everything that you're saying. But my old age is. But anyway, I was up. Every time I get him here, time flies. Time flies, and before he get mad at me and he say he ain't coming back, not next week, but the week after, he said every other week I got that commitment, I'm holding him to it. But this was very insightful. It was nice to have you once again, and we're going to keep on explaining. And listen, for everybody that's out there, go to his page, Derek Daly on Facebook. You can see all that he built because you also can do that in your community. You could build a community within a community. He talked about young black people just need an opportunity to really know who they are. Us black Americans, we hated all around the world because we grew up in their house and we know them. We know them for who they really
Let
are.
me make a point. Let me make a point.
Go ahead.
Let me make a point of that thing. And because we got 2 minutes. Think about it. Think about the power of African Americans in this country, the United States of America. African Americans comprise of 12% of the population in the United States. 12%. And culturally, we probably like 80% of the culture. Music,
100%.
entertainment,
100%.
you
Not
know,
12%.
make up everything of the culture. So of course, when you get a young white boy driving down the street playing music or whatever, they get scared. They're scared because they're like, that child has been infused with the culture. Okay? And what happens is, next thing you know, he's popping babies with who? A black woman. And that child comes out, right? What does that child characterize? A child born by a black woman is what?
A black. He's black. I don't
Black.
care. I don't
So
care who you
right.
have a baby with is
So
black.
who you have a baby? Exactly. So they thought that was a negative. Back in the day, they thought that was a negative. So now we have another child that's identifying himself as being black. So eventually, that child is gonna go what? Hopefully, hook up with a black woman again, and that child becomes even blacker.
But you know what?
So then that's that's the fear. That's the fear that's going on. Now, I mean, again, I run out of time, but let me say one last thing here.
I'm gonna jump in, boy. I got you.
It has to do this this thing with white Christian nationalists and abortion, okay, and this whole thing about the Republican Party and abortion, it's masked between too many white women are having abortions, and we're not recreating or getting or reproducing white males, white females, okay? While Hispanics are still popping out 4 and 5 and 6 kids in
At
a
a time.
household. Black Americans, Black Americans have a multiplier, okay? So Black Americans have a multiplier of 4, 5, 6 kids. Then on top of that, there's that multiplier of white men and white women having children with black men and black women, where those kids become black.
Yeah.
So that's even another multiplier, because the white man's role is to have a pure white child. And
And
any type of mix is not a pure white child. So that's why they have to. So we always thought it was about abortion, abortion, abortion. Abortion is not about the Bible and this and that and
no,
blah blah. The
it's
Republican
control.
Party's abortion
It's control.
is about having white women, and this wraps up our whole government control. Is about white women having more babies, and that's it. So that takes us from Vic, that takes us from the beginning of our conversation to the end of our conversation, and it wraps it up with a nice little bow. Okay,
Yeah. Bro.
I
And
gotta see it's 10:02.
all
Let's
right. I got,
let's
I got,
we
what?
got two
I got
things.
30 seconds. I got 30 seconds. I want my 30 seconds. And I want to take that last thing he just said. And you know this to be true in our own family. I have cousins, Carolina, who are whiter than white. Because what she did, she married a white man. And she got back in there, and her kids are whiter than white. But they're black. And that's their fear. Because even when these white men have children with black women, or black women have children, I mean, vice versa, not all of them come out black. Some of them come out just like this and mix right back in the community, and they are scared if they go into the community with the knowledge of what exactly they are doing. That's also one of their fears. Well, anyway, we are going to close this down. We 1 minute and 13 seconds, and he just told me he's just going to give me an hour, and I love it. I love it. Everybody, if you all, um, Derek, if you want to bring your sons, or if you want to bring any of your co-workers or other people to help the programming, I have room for like 7 people that you could bring on some other guests with you if they have something that we need to bring out here. This is an open format for me and you, the builder and the hawk. You could bring them on here to everybody. Thank you. Thank you. Listen, today is Selfish Thursday. Go put in the selfish prayer. Pray for what you need, but take your time and be prayer specific, because God do answer prayer. Anything else? No, he just looking at me.
Go to DerekDaily.com.
DerekDaily.com.
DerekDaily.com. If you want to learn more about me, go to PolarisVillage.org to learn more about the church and about the Polaris Village Academy. Go to BAM Inc. BAAMINC.org to learn more about our after-school program, Building African American Minds. Go to Naima, Naima Ventures.com to learn more about our housing project. And go to backresources.com to learn more about our building. So, thank you very much.
Thank you. You see the
Give us
logos on the bottom
we'll
of
give
his
you every
picture?
2 weeks.
You see the
We'll
logos
give
on
you
the
every two
bottom?
weeks.
You see the logos on the bottom of his picture where he is? So when you go look up his name, if you don't see those logos, that's fake account. So you see his logos right there, and from there they will shuttle you to everything that he's doing. And God is good, and he's good all the time, everybody. Goodbye, and have a great, great day. See you, Mr. Daly. 2 weeks from now, he'll be back. Next week, I don't know who I'm going to have on, but God is good, and he's good all the time. Goodbye.